All right, welcome listeners. What's going on? My name is Steven. I'm with LA Marketing, and I am pleased to announce that Emerge, you guys are going to be starting a podcast, huh?
Yes.
Super exciting.
Yes.
So, all right, so we got two of you guys here with us today. We got Taryn
Yes.
and Belinda.
Correct.
All right, you guys super excited about this?
Well, yeah. We'll see how well we do.
A little nervous?
Yeah,
a
a little bit.
No,
But we're excited.
Nothing
we
to be
are.
nervous about.
Yeah.
So, you guys are the owners of Emerge Baseball, right?
We are.
Cool.
Yeah. Emerge has been open since 2007, and neither one of us started Emerge together, but we're excited to be a part of it now.
Oh, of course, of course. All right, so I got two quick questions because I just get straight to the point. All right.
Okay.
Do this.
How do you guys stay awake in here? It is so relaxing. Like I walked in, I'm like, man, I am so relaxed. Like,
So
how do you guys stay awake?
So it's funny you should say that. One of our employees asked this weekend if she could have nap time. And I'm like, well,
They
during
watch
your lunch
CBS
break,
Sunday morning
yes,
thing.
yeah.
And it had about napping at work, and we were like, no, that's
No,
not
that's
it.
not.
So you guys
Maybe
aren't
dur-
adopting Google's
No,
nap pods?
I said
No.
maybe during your lunch break.
Okay,
So
there
we'll
we go.
close that door. But you're right. I mean, I think we just are so used to it now that it's just another day. I mean, we walk in and we infuse these walls with something that smells really beautiful, and we really just try to grasp all the senses when you come in. And I think we just have gotten used to it that even at this point, I don't smell that scent anymore.
Right.
But for anybody walking through the doors, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we stay awake. We have lots of coffee hours and
I love it
coffee
how
breaks.
people do say that. They're like, oh
Every
my
single
gosh,
time.
it's so relaxing, and the spa music's always playing. But they don't know the behind the scenes.
Right.
It's like we're doing something right if you feel that coming in, because we're all like, oh my gosh, there's so many things going on. So.
Right, and we'll get into that. And I think you guys are hitting the customer and client experience on every single time, because every time I walk in, I'm greeted by the ladies at the reception desk. I get the smell, I get the sense of smell, get the sense of visuals, get the
Love it.
sense
Oh,
of
then
feeling.
we're doing it
so
right.
Yeah.
you're doing it.
We
You're
love
doing it
to hear
right.
it.
You're doing it right. So my second question, and before we get into what exactly Emerge does, what's the difference between like a day spa and a medical, day spa?
So a medical day spa really incorporates some medical treatments, and that includes aesthetic purposes, Botox fillers, lasers. We do facial peels. So it's just a little bit more medically driven, and most of those are done by our nursing staff only. Whereas the spa side is going to be more of your facials as well as your massages. They also do some peels there too, but it's more on a relaxing environment, even though there's great benefits for the skin. So we actually at our spa have actually separated the two areas. So
Okay.
when you walk in the door on the medical side, it feels a little bit more medical. And then when you walk on the spa side, it's just a little bit more quaint and quiet and relaxing.
Okay. Nice. All right. So now, Belinda, you were saying something earlier that you guys didn't start Emerge, right?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, we were providers before we
Really?
became owners. So in 2007, it was opened by a physician and another couple of partners. And about a year in, I got hired as a nurse, very part-time. And I was like, I'm going to stay home with my kids. Okay, maybe I'll do 4 hours a week.
Right.
And so then
off that
it
way.
does. And then I fell in love with it. And so within 2 to 3 years, I was working 20 hours a week and then full time. And very shortly after, I got asked if I wanted to buy in because one of the owners was leaving. I don't know how I talked my husband into it, but I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And so then I became an owner, and it just became this really deep passion. And I think being a provider, and I think Taryn, you would say the same thing, that we got a
Yeah.
good grasp of what it feels like to be in that treatment room and what that client wants, as well as me being a client to start off with.
Absolutely. I mean, I came on as a spa director, and I did laser hair removal. And as a provider as well, you understand what the client wants. And then when you're working up at the front or all the other areas, being a spa director or a spa manager, you see all of the different points that
Right.
need to be hit. And so Belinda being a nurse, when she became an owner, I was already doing things like I was an owner, but I wasn't.
Right.
The passion was there for both of us, and we just clicked. We had a great energy we still do.
Yes.
I mean, we're just great partners, and there was an opportunity for me to buy in, and she gave me the opportunity, and I snatched it up.
You're like, sign
And
me
we've
up.
hit the ground
Yeah.
running together ever since.
Yeah. No, I think that's very important when you're starting a business to basically start from that ground level, right? So you understand all the jobs, all the responsibilities of each, position. And so
Yep.
I think
I
you
couldn't
guys-
agree more.
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
anything that we bring on, we really want to bring on things that we would like too.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, well, this is the next thing, so we're just going to automatically offer it. I mean, we test it out, we trial it out, and then we make sure it's something that we both really enjoy and our clients would enjoy, because we don't want to offer anything that we're like, oh, it's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely something that we've thought through and are behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was in '07, and then when did you take over?
So I officially bought in 2012.
Okay.
So it was a few years later, but I had been working here for the majority of it. And then Taryn bought in 2014.
Okay.
So
Cool.
since then, it's kind of exciting because
It
when
is.
we both bought in, I think there was, how many rooms? 8 or 9 rooms
8
at the time. And
Yes.
then, 4 years after we both became partners, we grew it into about a 14-room facility.
Wow.
Yeah, and then this last year we grew it into a 21-room facility.
Yes.
So we've got quite a footprint.
Yes, we started out with 11 employees, including us, and we are about 38 right now.
Wow.
Yes. So, I mean, and that's where it gets a little,
Yeah.
oh, it's so comfortable. How can you not fall asleep? That's why.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
It's right here. I feel it right here.
There's so many people.
So I mean, I was about to ask you guys, and you guys kind of already answered. How's it changed over since you guys took over? I mean, you just said you went from a 7.
Yeah.
Yes.
To
About
a-
it. Yeah. I keep talking for you. I'm sorry,
No,
Taryn.
keep
I
going.
just
Oh.
keep chiming
Keep
in.
it rolling.
I obviously like to talk, and that's
likes
another
to hear
reason why I
herself.
That's why
teach.
She loves
podcast
to
is
hear
great
herself
for you.
talk.
Okay, that's
why
right.
if you enjoy to
Yeah.
talk, I mean, you got it.
So, about a year, what was it, about 2 years ago, we were going to build our own
Yes.
facility. And just with the rising cost of construction and all that, we just decided to stay here. The space next to us opened up, which was quite a bit of square footage. So instead of building our own facility, we really just kind of moved into that next space and we modernized it. We went from a really kind of dark and quaint. It was nice and fun. Our goal was to never make it feel medical, even though it's medical.
Right.
So we wanted this modern, updated facility, and I think we hit the mark. I mean, I don't think there's,
Agreed.
a place in Tulsa or even Oklahoma that really hits all those senses.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're going to do a therapy pool in an ice room. That's coming up, people,
Oh,
which
what's
we're
the
really
date?
exciting about.
Can you announce the date yet? Or no,
Well,
not
I
yet?
think they're pouring concrete
Yes,
tomorrow.
they're-
So,
Oh, okay.
The hole
All
has
right,
been dug.
so-
It's in there. It's just a matter of it being finished.
Right.
But those are things. Belinda and I, when we go on different trainings and conferences, we always will check out the spa and everything just to see what we might be missing or anything that we might want to add. And there was 2 different places that we went to that had an ice room and a plunging like therapy pool. And it was just magnificent. And so we were starting to dream big at that time. We're like, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to have something? Because there's not anything like it here in
Right.
Oklahoma. We're like, wouldn't that be nice to do something that neat? Well, it was a dream. And then we started talking more. And then we started expanding this way over to this other area. And it was like, let's just do it. Let's do what we, it would be super cool. And let's just
Right.
see if we can do it. And there we
kind
go.
of creating that day destination.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can get here an hour or 2 before your massage or really or your facial. We also have like a red hot, infrared
Infrared
sauna.
saunas.
So you can get that anti-aging aspect and really get a good hour and a half of relaxing before you actually go in to have a facial massage.
Yes.
It's exciting.
So how many services? So back in '07, when you had 7 rooms, well, how many services did you guys offer at that time?
Well, gosh, it's hard to put a number on
Is
that
it?
because, I mean, as we've expanded, I think the additional services that we've
Right.
done is we've really kind of honed in on that functional medicine aspect
Yeah.
with our nurse practitioner, doing a little bit more hormonal therapy as well as, BioT pellets, things
Right.
like that. We have embarked on doing IV therapy as well. Just, you come back from a vacation, you're dehydrated. Let's get that going. We also have vitamin cocktails for people, vitamin
Ooh.
B12 and, a little bit of weight loss. We can just kind of combine
Yes.
a few of them and give you that cocktail. We have quite a few clients that come in weekly for those. So I think that's where our expansion has, as well
I think
as
our
lasers.
lasers, we've really grown in our laser department too. I mean, we have just about every technology there is right now. And that's something that was important to us to offer to our clients too, because facials and everything are great and they're very beneficial. But if you need to take it to that next level,
Right.
we definitely wanted to have some of the best lasers to be able
Yeah.
to do that.
So what would you say is your number? And then you guys are probably gonna say all of them, but they probably are. But I mean, what would you say is your guys' wheelhouse, like in services?
Man, I say our laser hair removal.
Really?
I mean, Botox and fillers, for sure. We do a ton of that. But laser hair removal, as far as lasers go, that's a big one.
Yeah.
For men and women, it's life change. It's the first thing I came in for as a client was laser hair removal and Botox.
Right.
I would say we book a lot more Botox just because it's a quick 15-minute appointment, and we've got a large population that come. But I would say, would you agree with me, Taryn?
I would definitely say laser hair removal. That is just something that most people just get very insecure about, and it's in all different areas. So I would definitely say laser hair removal for the
I
medical.
also think we've got the top of the line laser. There's a lot of different lasers, and that's why we have a multitude of them, because what one does might be really good at one thing, and then might not be good at the other 4 things that it does.
Right.
So then we'll have another laser that does all the same thing on their platform, but they may be better at photofacial.
Right.
And then the laser hair removal is a secondary part. So our laser hair, we've got 2 of them now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wheelhouse.
Yeah, my brother actually got it done for his neck.
Yes.
Yes.
If you can tell, I would need to get mine done too. So.
Or even the back of the neck.
Yeah, the
Oh,
back
I
of
didn't
the
think
neck.
about the back of the neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
listen, ears. You would be surprised.
What are you trying to say, Taryn?
Well, I'm just
You're trying-
saying.
what are you trying
We
to
do
say?
ears as well,
All right.
Stephen.
Okay.
Here's my card.
It's okay. Thank you. Do not zoom in on that camera on my
Get a
ears,
close-up.
please. So this is your first location. This is
Correct.
your baby.
Yes.
Yes.
And,
It's our, what do we call it? Our
E1, the
motherboard,
mothership.
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 The
And
mothership.
so now you guys have a second location at River Spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's
so,
E2.
E2. All right. So, I'm sorry. I'm
we
sorry.
have an
So we
interview.
got your E3, E4, E5.
We have E3.
We do have an E3 too.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
All right.
we
We're going to
do,
talk
we
about that.
do.
So tell me a little bit about the River Spirit one.
It's beautiful. It's amazing. So the casino actually built it out, and they approached us going on 3 years ago. And at first we were like, oh, I don't know if this is something, we want to do or we can do. And we got in there and walked the space, and they were great there. It is, there's a steam room, sauna, lounging areas. It is your day destination. So when you check in, you could be there all day long. And we do facials, massages, hair, you name it. So it's more of your relaxing resort.
Okay,
type.
that's what I was gonna
There's
ask
no
you.
medical
Okay,
there.
that's what I was about to ask.
So it's
Okay.
it's strictly to go there and
I mean,
relax.
but that also makes sense. I mean, you're at a hotel resort. I mean,
Right.
it's more for those clients or customers that are there for the hotel, Margaritaville. So
Great for wedding parties.
It
It's
is.
great
We get a
for
lot
group
of parties.
events.
Okay.
Yeah.
a lot of bachelorette parties, weddings, birthdays. Tons of different parties.
I also think the nice thing about it too is there's a lot of restaurants available in the casino. So there's a lot of people that'll come in for a party, and we're able to give them a menu. They
Yes.
deliver champagne, wine, all kinds of that
man.
to the spa area maybe, or into the
Yes.
lounge. And so it does it's got an amazing couples retreat.
Yeah, the
It's just-
couples retreat room is really nice. It's got a big plunger, like deep soaking tub. It's got a huge shower in there. I mean, it's beautiful. And I was going to say in the salon area, it's always very interesting because it faces the pool. And so that gets very interesting because
Oh, I bet.
and the clients
people
love it. I
watching.
mean, it's great people watching, and if they book around 3:00 in the afternoon,
oh,
Full
man.
on
things start getting
entertainment.
exciting out there. So that's
probably
always
that's probably why that midday to
they're
evening's
like, maybe
booked
I
out
should
at
go
your
out to the
salon.
pool later. So that really helps out whenever they're
Yeah.
staying. They're like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to go to the pool tomorrow.
Now, and just in case the listeners aren't here from Tulsa, we had a major flooding about a year ago, right?
Yes.
About a year ago.
Yes.
I forgot what that river is. I'm from here, and
Is it the Arkansas?
The Arkansas?
I'm going to embarrass
Arkansas?
myself.
Arkansas?
with
I was
this.
like,
And
yeah, I
I'm
think
not
so.
originally from Oklahoma, so I'm still kind of learning a little bit of the
Arkansas.
geography. But
No, that was a scary
yeah.
time. As it rained every single day,
For like-
I would
for
get,
like a week?
Yes,
Yes.
I would get text alerts just saying, "Hey, the water is this far. They're going to release this much water," and so it was really scary there for a little bit. There was a lot of stuff talking about the structure and all of that. It was just ridiculous because
Right.
everything was structurally sound. It rose a little bit into the spa area, but it was just enough to where we needed to go in and do some remodeling and everything.
So it actually did get into the
So
spa.
it did get into the spa, but it didn't get anything on that top level. It was just all lower level,
Right.
and we were on the lower level. So the pool area and then in our spot. But they've been working on it. So the hopefully the opening date will be April 24th.
Okay,
When the
all
pool
right.
season opens, they've been
Ooh.
working on it, and I get texts all the time and pictures, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And I walked through it last week, and it's looking really good. We're really
Yeah.
excited about it.
And I remember talking to you guys before we decided when we were talking about doing this podcast, and I want to mention this because I think it's awesome what you guys did. You guys didn't lay off one single employee. You moved them
No.
all here.
We did.
Nope.
That's awesome.
Another why. That's another reason why we aren't able to take naps.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
You're back in.
Exactly. When that was going on, I think that was not only the fear of water coming into our spa and everything, but it was heavy because we're very close. We're all very close, and we really care about our employees.
And we have such a great staff.
Great staff.
Yeah.
And so I came over here and I sat down with Belinda, and I'm like, okay, so it looks like we're not going to be able to get, it's flooding.
Right.
And I said, we have our staff. I just don't know what to do. And she looked at me, and we sat down, and we were like, okay, we're going to make it work. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to make it work. And in the meantime, this was still building out.
Oh, so this wasn't done yet.
So this wasn't even completed yet.
man.
And so we were now taking on
11 or 12?
11 employees. And we were just like, what are we going to do? But you know what? We made it work.
Yeah, you figured it out.
We did make it work. So, but
Yeah.
we're ready to get back in there.
Yeah, of course, of
We
course.
miss it.
Yeah,
And
no, I
our-
just remember you guys telling me that story, and I was like,
Yeah.
I got to mention
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, and
That's
I have to say,
awesome.
our staff here was so welcoming too, because
yeah.
they didn't have to be, but they are because they're amazing. And we've gotten to know the casino staff a little bit more, and I think they're excited to be back in their new space, but
Yeah.
I think they're a little sad to miss out on some of the relationships.
Right.
Well,
that
yeah,
we've
and I
created
think
here.
that you have to look at the opportunity that you can sit there and go, oh my God, this is terrible and everything like that. But I think the positive coming out of it is we were two different locations and we knew of each other, but for them to be working together and really get to know each other on a personal level, I mean, I'm just so thankful that they've had that time here to get to know each. So now it's not just like E1 versus E or E1,
Right.
E2. It really is just a merge, and
Right.
that's I'm excited that they were able to build
blessing
those
in
relationships.
disguise.
Yeah,
Yes.
took the
Yeah.
words right out of my mouth because I mean, just with any business, when you open up a second location, the people at the first location are like, "Oh, we're the best," whatever, and then
Yeah.
the second location's kind of the same way, right? And but by you guys having to do that, kind of builds more of a team. So I think
Really
yeah,
has.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's awesome. So now you said E3.
E3.
What is E3?
God.
What is
Okay. Well,
E3?
there's,
I'll
like
let
I said,
you
never a
take this
dull
one.
moment at Emerge. Well, in the last 3 or 4 years, I was asked to be an ambassador for Allergan. So I get to go across the country and do some trainings, which I absolutely love, going into different offices, especially in different regions, because it really it encourages my growth. And so E3 just kind of was born out of this educational aspect. So it's more of a consulting business. So anybody that's kind of interested in getting into this industry with med spas, we really want to kind of help them out. We want to make sure that they're doing it right. There's so many maybe bad decisions we've made in the past that we've learned through
Yes.
to grow through. Maybe it's because we bought an expensive laser that we didn't use very often, but we just want to kind of pass that along. And also, I love to educate people on how to do things correctly.
Right.
In this industry, it just takes 1 or 2 spas in town that really can botch some people up, and it affects our business as well.
Right.
So my goal is to go out there and just teach them how to do it correctly.
Oh, that's
And if we're
awesome.
all doing it correctly, then we're growing the business for each other all at once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So where did you say E3 was at?
Well, it's kind of here.
Oh, okay.
Kinda here,
so
kinda there,
so
kinda
it's not a
everywhere.
direct location.
No, it's not a direct
Okay.
location.
Okay. Sorry. I was thinking location. I
That's
was
a-
like, oh, that's awesome.
We're going to get there soon. We kind of have a space available to do it, but it's our first 6 months into it, and it's already successful. I've got a lot of private trainings that I'm doing, but we've got its own little staff support. So it's really where I want to see myself moving in the next 2 or 3 years. Of course, I'll still be here at E1,
Right.
but I love the travel. My kids are old enough. I love to educate.
Now, do you travel around Oklahoma or nationwide? Or
I've gone
what?
to Oklahoma for sure. I've done
Okay.
Texas. I've done Colorado, New Mexico. I think I have an invitation soon going to New York to do
Oh,
a
sweet.
training there. So I'm always wanting to expand and put my name out there. And
Yeah.
like I said, it just, when I go into those offices, I kind of get to see what they're selling and what they're doing. And I
Right.
just bring it back, and it's a great educational tool for us.
Yeah. Definitely. So now there's an E4.
Well, we don't want to talk about that yet. There's to be soon.
To be announced soon.
All right. Well, maybe on the next,
it's still in
maybe
the
on
works.
future
It's in the works.
episodes. That's
Still in
something
the
to look forward to.
Yes.
There's in talks of maybe an E4. So now your guys' goal with this podcast. Actually, I'll just let you guys. What is your guys' goal with this podcast? What do you guys want to get out of this?
Cassie told us to do it.
Yeah, Cassie.
Well, you know what? Actually, it's funny because I've heard a lot about podcasting.
Right.
And
You ever listen to one?
I have recently, since we've been kind of, I hate to say forced into this, but not really. We're excited about doing this. But I rode with my daughter to her college to check it out a couple weekends ago, and she was listening to a podcast. And it just blew me away that it's hitting that younger generation. And I'm starting to feel like a little old fogey that I got to kind of keep up. But so we're excited to embark on this. We're hoping we're kind of the first little med spa in town to do this. And I think we have a lot of good things that we can tell people about.
Well, and I like the idea of I like listening to podcasts too. And my thing is when you're watching a podcast, you get to know the people better. So, when you see pictures on a website or you're like, okay, well, that's a picture and so, and that's, to hear someone talk about it and you get to know them more as a person and get more information and things like that too.
Right. I agree with that. So what's next? These are notes that Cassie gave me, but hopefully, what's next?
Gosh, what's next? Let's see. We've E4. E4's next.
Possibly E5. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we've got I guess our goal is as we are in this educational role and building new businesses, we've had a ton of them reach out and want to franchise with us.
Right.
So there's that possible option of having new locations or, some spas that just are having a hard time making it. And so, rather than going belly up, we're kind of stepping in and maybe seeing if it is a possible location for us. So
I think too with us, it's the training aspect and becoming a training facility. We've already been holding certain trainings and stuff here with what Belinda's doing, but also with different companies that are able to come in and do training as well. So that is something that we've talked about for a while now, and it just
there's just not really anything in Oklahoma that has that. So instead of people having to travel, 4 to 6 hours away, that we've got this beautiful room here, and it's basically a classroom that we can bring in vendors, we can bring in laser specialists, we can bring in the new techniques, whether it's with Botox or thread lifts or neck lifts or anything like that. So I think that's all fun things that for our future that we're looking forward to.
I think that's what makes you guys special is because you guys invest in your guys' staff with continuing education of new top of the line stuff that's
very
coming
important.
out.
Very important.
That's very important. So one last question, actually maybe two questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So what makes Emerge a little bit different than other medical day spas, not just here in Tulsa, but in Oklahoma, around the nation?
I think I heard a term recently whenever I went to a seminar that customer service is the new advertising.
Yep.
And so I think, when we go into different offices, it might not hit all those senses. We really want to make sure that we are listening to our customers. One of the things I think, maybe puts us above others is we've got nurses that have been in this industry for 10 plus years. There's 3 of us that have been doing it over 10 years. We have a new nurse that's come in from California, and she's got some experience, and it's exciting to have her because that's usually where things start. So I would say our experience level, our interest in always being at the forefront of what's coming out really separates us from a lot of other places.
I also think too is just how you treat your employees. If Belinda and I have always reinvested into them, because if they're happy and they've gone to school, they've done all this training, and we want them to come in their room and be passionate and do what they love to do. And so when you support them and give them continued education and you're there for them, then that your clients are going to feel that because they are excited about doing what they're doing.
Exactly. And it's funny you guys brought up those 2 points because I was talking to a business owner a couple months ago, and he said, Steven, what would be, if you didn't have to deal with 2 things, being an entrepreneur and a business owner would be awesome. If you didn't have to deal with clients and you didn't have to deal with employees. And I was thinking about that, but you guys said the exact opposite. You're this is.
I love our clients. Our clients are so loyal. And, I love the feedback they give us. They give us positive, they give us some, all different types, but we need that. We need that to know how we can tweak things a little bit and do things differently. Belinda's had trainings before where she's like, okay, I need models, and we'll put it out there and just say, hey, who wants to come in for a special training with Belinda? And, so they're involved as well. I think that is really important for us.
You couldn't run a medical day spa
without those two,
You
without
need
those two,
both
right?
of them. They're both very important.
Exactly.
All right. So last question. So what should the listener be expecting through this first season of your podcast, the lineup that we have going on during this first?
Man, I hope we educate them a little bit more on Botox and who is that right client, as well as fillers, and why it's important to have facials. There is it's not just a feel good experience. So we really kind of want to talk a little bit about the services that we provide, maybe why we're a little bit different than others, and just kind of get that excitement. It is an industry that's growing. We're only hitting about 5% of the people that are interested in these services. So if we can grasp a few more of those and kind of show them what it really is all about, it'll build their confidence. It'll build their well-being. I think all those things are really what we really want to focus on these podcasts.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Anything? 100%. You know,
I
have
agree
anything to
100%
add?
with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, Taryn, Belinda, you guys have anything else to add? We're about to wrap up this first episode.
To be continued.
Yeah,
To be continued. Is that our sign off? To be
Yeah.
continued.
We'll have a jingle next time.
Okay, we're working on a jingle. Me and Taryn were
Taryn for sure. You don't want
me
me
and
saying
Taryn
it.
were working on our jingle before,
We're
but
working on a
but we'll
jingle.
leave it on this. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure whatever platform you see this on to subscribe, like. Also, if you have any questions for Belinda and Taryn, please just put in the comment section below. They would love to answer those questions that you have. Anything about day spa or day spa, medical day spa, and things like that.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Sounds
And
good.
so, guys, to be continued.